Hello students. In the previous sessions, I asked you to prepare answers to the questions in lesson 2, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Now I'll discuss answers for the questions. Before that, I'll give you the summary of this lesson. South Africa remained under the British rule for more than 3 centuries. Since 1948, a very cruel policy of apartheid was followed by the white rulers. According to this policy, white people and black people were kept separate from each other. They were educated under separate systems. They are kept in or out of certain areas. The blacks of Africa bitterly opposed such racial discrimination. At last, after a long struggle, democratic elections were held in which Nelson Mandela was elected the first black president of South Africa. On May 10, 1994, Mandela was sworn in as the president and there were wild jubilations among the blacks of the country. In this lesson, Mandela recalls briefly how this day was celebrated and what his feelings were at the time of those celebrations. The whole history of the South African struggle and also the history of his own life came alive before his imagination. Mandela pays tribute to thousands of South African patriots who sacrificed their lives for the cause of freedom. He calls himself the sum of all these patriots. In spite of all those sacrifices, Mandela bears no ill will against the whites. He says that the oppressor is as much a prisoner as the oppressed. He says that courage is not the absence of fear but the triumph over fear. Mandela's sufferings had indeed made him a man of courage and character. Now I will discuss the answers. Question number 1. Where did the ceremonies take place? Can you name any public buildings in India that are made of sandstone? Answer. The ceremonies were held in Pretoria. The Red Fort, the Jama Masjid in India are made of sandstone. Number 2. Can you say how May 10 is an autumn day in South Africa? Answer. South Africa falls in the southern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere the autumn months are March to May. Question number 3. At the beginning of his speech, Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster. What does he mean by this? What is the glorious human achievement he speaks of at the end? Answer. The oppression of the white rule for over 300 years has been called an extraordinary human disaster. The liberation from the oppression has been termed as glorious human achievement. Question number 4. What does Mandela thank the international leaders for? Answer. Mandela thanked them for joining them in the common victory for peace, justice and human dignity. Question number 5. What ideals does he set out for the future of South Africa? Answer. He says that there will be an end to poverty, deprivation, suffering and any kind of discrimination. Question number 6. What do the military generals do? How has their attitude changed and why? Answer. The military generals salute Mandela. Their attitude has changed because Mandela is now their president. 7. Why were two national anthems sung? Answer. The whites and the blacks had now equal rights in the Republic of South Africa. That was why the national anthems of both the communities were sung. Question number 8. How does Mandela describe the system of government in his country in the first decade and in the final decade of the 20th century? Answer. The system of government in the first decade was one of discrimination, oppression and cruelty. And in the final decade, it changed into a system that was based on justice and equality. Question number 9. What does courage mean to Mandela? Answer. To Mandela, courage means not the absence of fear but the triumph over fear. Question number 10. Which does he think is natural, to love or to hate? Answer. Mandela thinks that love comes to us naturally while we have to learn to hate others. Question number 11. What twin obligations does Mandela mention? Answer. The twin obligations are towards one's family and one's people. Number 12. What did being free mean to Mandela as a boy and as a student? How does he contrast these transitory freedoms with the basic and honorable freedoms? Answer. As a boy, freedom meant to him the freedom to run in the fields near his mother's hut. It meant the freedom to swim in the clear stream that ran through his village. As a student, freedom meant to him the freedom to read what he pleased, to go where he chose, and to stay out at night. He contrasts these transitory freedoms with the freedom to live a life of dignity and self respect. Question number 13. Does Mandela think the oppressor is free? Why or why not? Answer. Mandela does not think of the oppressor as being free. He says that the oppressor is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. Now I will discuss the textual questions. Page number 24 in textbook. Question number 1. Why did such a large number of international leaders attend the inauguration? What did it signify the triumph of? Answer. The international leaders come to honor the South Africa's first democratic government. It was a common victory for justice, peace and human dignity. Question number 2. What does Mandela mean when he says he is simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before him? Answer. Mandela means to say that without the sacrifices of all those who had gone before him, he could never have been what he is today. His becoming the first black president of South Africa could never have been possible without their sacrifices. That is why he calls himself simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before him. Question number 3. Would you agree that the depths of oppression create heights of character? How does Mandela illustrate this? Can you add your own examples to this argument? Answer. Mandela is perfectly right in what he says. The deeper the oppression, the higher the character. It proved true in the case of Mandela himself. He felt not only for the oppressed but also for the oppressor. He saw the oppressor not a cruel master but also as a helpless slave of hatred. To the example of Mandela, we can add the examples of our own numberless freedom fighters. Number 4. How did Mandela's understanding of freedom change with age and experience? Answer. As a child, freedom meant to Mandela the freedom to run in the fields. As a student, it meant the freedom to read what he pleased and go where he pleased. As a young man, it meant the freedom to develop one's potential and live a lawful life. But then he realized that all these were transitory freedoms. Now freedom meant to him the freedom of everyone who looked like him. Question number 5. How did Mandela's hunger for freedom change his life? Mandela's hunger for freedom ended all his fears. Now he became a bold person. But it also drove him from a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal in the eyes of law. He became homeless and was forced to live the life of a monk.